Today we'll be learning how much is actually in an ice cream cone that you eat maybe every day. See, with an ice cream cone, you have the volume of a cone and the volume of a sphere. Today we will also be learning the volume of a cylinder as well. In today's lesson, you should be able to understand the formulas for the volume of cones, cylinders, and spheres. We will be using technology today, so you will need your computers because we will be watching videos and getting in groups to help understand the lesson better. So first, we're going to start off by doing some practice problems. The volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r squared. Also, the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. Another way to write this is using diameter. Before we start the actual lesson, I will have all of y'all come up to the front of the classroom and I'm going to show you the physical representations of volume. After that, then y'all have a seat back at your desk, and once y'all are done with this, I will start off by writing down the volume of a sphere. So behind me we have the volume of a sphere, which is V equals 4/3 times pi times r cubed. And then I have a picture. The radius, if you remember from our last lesson, is the middle of the circumference. The middle of the diameter. Before we actually get started on the volume of a cylinder, we need to ask the question, what is a cylinder? A cylinder is a solid bounded by a cylindrical surface and has two parallel planes. We can imagine it as a solid physical tin lids on top and bottom. To calculate its volume, we need to know two parameters, the radius or diameter and the height. So the cylinder volume is pi times the cylinder radius squared times the cylinder height. The volume of a cone is a little harder to find than the volume of a sphere. The volume of a cone is 1/3 times pi r squared times the height, and this is going to be in cubic units. When it comes to finding the volume of a cone, it uses both the lateral height and the regular height. So when we do this, you have to think of surface area. Remember when we talked about surface area? This involves surface area as well as extra information from the outside of the cone. For any learner who is better at playing games, I put an extra game in the lesson for the class to do at the end of the lesson. There's also a physical example of volume for each shape. That is to help if you are a kinesthetic learner. I filled up these containers that are shaped like shapes, like cylinders and cones and spheres, to show you how volume actually works. I know some people need to look at an actual example to understand what it is they're trying to find, so this is why I did this today. These games, all the games that we play today are self-paced for you guys, and it doesn't take if you take a little extra time to do something, you are able to not feel rushed and do it at your own time. Now, this doesn't mean you get 20 minutes to play the game, but also there's leeway time, so you don't feel like you're having to catch up with everyone else, and you're able to have some fun yourself. If you are having trouble understanding or grasping the concept in today's lesson, I have a few extra YouTube videos that you're able to watch in your own free time at home, or if you have free time today in the end of class, I will put those on the board. It's just explaining more in depth of each volume and how to find the volume with real world problems. I know sometimes I can be hard to understand, so I'm going to have a extra source to help you out so you're not left behind in today's class. For today's exit ticket, you will have to come up with your own question to either volume, sphere, or cylinder related with volume. This question just could be simple, it could be harder, depending on what you want. Just make sure you use the volume of one of these three shapes and make sure it relates to real life experiences. Also, you cannot use examples used in class today like the ice cream or anything else like that. Please make it unique to yourself and do not use your phones or laptop to look up answers. There are plenty of real world things that use cones and spheres. Think of a tire or a wheel or a ball, anything like that. That is a sphere. You have cones, you have cylinders. There's plenty of options to use, so just make sure that you do not copy anyone else's answer. It's okay if we overlap because there are going to be some overlapping, but try to be as unique as possible with this game. Next, I will have y'all grab y'all's laptop, so I'll give y'all a second to do that. And once that's done, I want you to type in the link that I have posted on the board. This link will bring you to a game involving the formulas that we talked about before. And then once y'all have finished the game, please raise your hand and show me your results. After all of this is done, y'all will watch a YouTube video on further explaining why volume is used in the real world. Now that we know how to find the volume of a sphere, cylinder, and cone, now we can answer that problem from earlier. You are given an ice cream cone with 1 scoop of vanilla on top. Find the volume of the ice cream inside the cone and on top. Use your knowledge about the volume of spheres, cones, and cylinders to find out just how much ice cream you really have. The height of your cone is 10 centimeters and the radius is 4 centimeters. Now hurry up and find how much you have before it melts. So please, I want you to write this answer on a blank piece of paper and turn it into the desk face front. You do not have to put your name on it. I just want to see how much people have gathered from today's lesson. Now that we have watched the videos and practiced the games and done some problems of ourselves, I'm gonna pass out a sheet of paper. It's containing just a very few problems on each of the volumes, making sure that you understand the content that we have learned today. Please make sure that once you have finished the assignment that you return it to my desk.